All right. Hello and welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Accent Interviews. It's been a minute, but we're back, and I'm here with my co-host Jay Axe. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm glad to be back and have amazing guests on the show.
Absolutely. Some of you guys may have seen our guest videos featured in uh, what is it, Sarge's Guide. Our guest tonight here is Hammy Plays. How you doing tonight, Hammy?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what kind of got you into MCOC and making videos for YouTube?
So boredom got me into playing MCOC, but when I was younger, I always played fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, that type of thing. Those and racing games were really the only types of games that I really played. So when I saw MCOC, I downloaded it and I played it for a little while, like maybe a couple of weeks, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then a few months later, picked it back up. So I didn't really like start playing it too seriously until about 6-9 months after I downloaded it. But just since then, it's just been nonstop playing all the time. Starting the YouTube channel was kind of I got into that. It was kind of a happy little accident, I suppose. Sometime in 2021, Google decided to stop letting you have unlimited photo uploads and video uploads. And I was looking for a place that I could just go and upload all my, crystal opening videos or whatever, not to post or anything. But so I settled on YouTube for that. And then eventually they were all just private at first. It was just kind of like a repository. So I had somewhere to put my videos. And then I just eventually started doing little edits to them and downloading different apps to see what worked good for me to add text and music and all that good stuff to it. So yeah, it was kind of an accident that I started making videos.
Okay. So who are some of your favorite champions right now?
I think if you look at my channel about, I don't know, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, I had a love affair with iHulk. I really, really like using iHulk a lot, and I'll use any excuse to bring him into war when I can. But I lean on a lot of the same champs I think that everybody else does. Like if you can herk it, then you herk it, obviously. But I think that probably like the champ that I use like in regular content more than anything is actually Ultron. Since his buff, he tackles a ton of stuff for me.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned iHulk. What are some things that you like about iHulk?
The safety net. I'm not the cleanest player. I don't know that I'm super sloppy, but I'm probably a little bit of a sloppy player. So the immortality and the fact that it can't be nullified or anything like that really helps a lot. And plus he's just a tank. He's real safe. It's like a security blanket around me when I play with him. I feel like I can't lose.
Okay. Yeah. What about Ultron? What are some things you like about Ultron?
Believe it or not, I think something that I don't see talked about a lot with him is his awakened ability, where he'll regenerate instantly energy damage and takes very little damage from shock and incinerate.
Mm-hmm.
And so at first when I was using him, I didn't have him at max sig, and then I just started pumping sig stones into him because I really saw the value in that. And immunities, obviously. Plus, I typically run 5 out of 5 deep wounds, so he just shreds through anything that can bleed.
Okay, so he'd be good for like biohazard and what is it, hazard shift immune in nodes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and to a degree, like we play. I took him into a fight with hazard shift not long ago, and didn't go as well as I had hoped, but he can survive that. Like if you start stacking a bunch of them on you, it's not going to go so well. But it's one of those a safeguard thing where it's like you can get a couple of those on you and then back off for a second, and then he's got the regeneration that kicks in even when things don't go right. So he's a safe option.
Okay. Jay, you got one over there?
I do. So, how'd you get the name Hammy Plays MCOC?
So the plays MCOC is just because that's what I was doing on YouTube when I decided to actually make the content. But Hammy is the nickname that I've had since I was a kid, since I could ever remember. In fact, I think my mom might be the only person that calls me Harold, which is my real name, but everybody calls me Hammy in my real life. So it just kind of made sense that way, you know.
Nice. And
Very nice.
when did the Spider Ham come into play with your branding?
That kind of just made sense too, I think. And I think a lot of people think that he's my favorite character when like my favorite comic book character is Venom. But just because Hammy, Spider Ham, Ham it up, I don't know, it kind of tied together really nicely. I do like Spider Ham. I think he's a quirky, cool character, but Venom's my favorite character. But so it was kind of just the whole name thing. It just seemed to fit together for me.
Works pretty good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got another one over there, Jay?
Yes. So Venom's your favorite character. Is how does he work on your roster?
I honestly don't use him that much because I run those ouchie masteries all the time. So I'm not using him as much as I would like. Although I have been taking those off frequently to do war recently. So I may eventually take him. I haven't even taken him to rank 3, which I kind of feel guilty about. But so yeah, I don't get a whole ton of use out of him. I did, like, when I used the 5-star, I used him quite a bit going through variants and stuff like that earlier on in MCOC. But I don't get a ton of use out of him anymore because of that.
Well, what about war? What kind of are you ranking up there?
You mean where do we rank right now?
Yes.
Yeah, right now we're gold 1. So last season I actually took over an alliance that is part of the family that Sarge runs. Well, takeover is I'm helping run one of the alliances. We're kind of doing it in tandem. We're kind of both leading, me and this guy Taylor. And you know, we were Platinum 4 when I went over there, but we lost like 13 people, I believe, because they wanted to go on and do something else. So we performed pretty terribly at first and lost the first 8 wars of the season. But then, you know, we finished strong. We won the last 4, and we've won the first war this season. So I think we'll get back to Platinum 4, I think.
Okay, nice.
That's what we're hoping for, at least. That's the goal.
Always hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you run like map 6 or 7 Alliance War or Alliance Quest?
We just run map 5.
Okay.
And I prefer it that way because then it allows you to bring in some less experience or less developed accounts into an alliance, because map 5 you can easily run with 5 stars if you want to. You can use 6 stars if you want to blow through it faster, but it can easily be done with 5 stars, which frees up people that don't have as wide of a roster to be able to still have, you know, rank 3 or rank 2, rank 3, 6 stars for war, defense, and attack. So I like running map 5, and it's what I've been running for a long time.
So, are you excited for some of the changes coming to war in AQ, like the defenders not being locked or a 4-day schedule for AQ?
Oh man, that was a breath of fresh air when I heard that announcement. I really like the Alliance Quest one, first off, because every time Kabam has done a survey about, and I've responded to it on Alliance Quest changes that I'd like to see, that exact structure has been my suggestion to them every single time. And they're changing it to exactly what I really like, the customization of it, where you can do any 4 days out of the week. So
right.
Yeah, I was really happy about that. I think that's going to be a great quality of life change for especially officers and leaders. The war stuff is interesting. I mean, I want to see it all in play, you know, to see exactly how it's all going to work. And I thought that stuff's later down the road, though, right? The war stuff. They said that's not coming right away, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think that stuff's later down the road, like you said.
Yeah, I think I have to see that stuff, exactly how it works and how it functions, to know if it's going to work for our team. But I would imagine that some of the even higher level alliances, like master level and stuff like that, that stuff is going to be very beneficial to them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's bring it to a hot topic. How are you feeling about the revive situation right now?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me about that. So I guess I have I have feelings about how they announced it and then how they changed it. So it seems like they have this habit. Kabam has this habit of announcing things that seem really, really bad, and then they manage the outrage, and then they give us something that is what they actually intended all along. I don't have any proof that's what they're doing. I try to remain positive about most things in life, so I'm going to remain positive and say they thought what they first put out was something that everybody would be okay with. However, what they changed it to, I think, is actually pretty good. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos about it, from Legacy, Brian Grant, Seaton, all of them, about the revive thing. And I think that the expansion of inventory is, especially for both level 1 and level 2, and then making level 2 revives easier to get for people that are Thronebreaker and Paragon. I think that that's really going to make revives a non-issue in most circumstances. Maybe not for like the Everest level content, like Abyss and stuff like that, but for the most part, I think we're going to be able to have enough of our inventory for even a mediocre player like me to be able to complete the content. So I'm okay with what the second thing that they did. I want to see how it works in practice for me and for other people, and then make judgments about. I just don't. The way they announced it is the thing that was. It's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, I think I agree for the most part. Like the way they announced it at first was kind of just like a blind side to everybody. I mean, I think we all saw it coming with what Jax responded in the forums to the 3.2.6 revive farming. But at the same time, they could have gone about it a little better in the way they announced it and then recanted their announcement to announce something different. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and they did something similar with the what was it, the loyalty stuff? What was that, middle of last year, I think it was, where they announced alliance war changes and changes to loyalty and all that, and then backtracked on that and changed it. I wish
And
they
buffed the loyalty amount. Yeah.
yeah. And I know that with the revives, they didn't say anything to the CCP about it. So I don't. That's hard for me to understand why they wouldn't utilize that vast resource that they have at their disposal and ask the CCP, hey, how do you think this is going to go over? How would this work for you? It's just announce it and then deal with the fallout. It's just unforced error, I think, is what that was.
Right. And I totally agree with how you think the new iteration is going to be a lot better and easier for people, because I was watching Brian Grant's video, and there are a lot of ways to stack like revives without actually claiming them, so that they're not in your inventory per se. You can hold them in your reward stash for so long, and you can get them from the insider rewards and stuff like that. So there are other ways to get revives other than grinding the apothecary every day for 4 weeks.
Yeah, and although that will be an option too, which as long those are guaranteed revives. So I mean, I think we all need to kind of just take a step back, just see how everything's gonna, how it's gonna work out, and then kind of go from there.
Right. I agree. It'll be a nice change once they up the stash amount, I guess. How much
That's
you
gonna
can
be
hold.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, about the same. I am glad we're getting something instead of nothing, because that would have been pretty bad. But it seems pretty good and always can be buffed. Like you said, we can always farm revives outside of it as well. Some places, I mean, it should hopefully be good, and if it's bad, it'll hopefully get changed for the better. So, just hoping for the best.
Yeah, give them time to iterate on it. If what the second thing that they came up, if that doesn't work once it goes live in the game, give them some time to take some feedback, iterate, and make that even better.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe in a couple years we'll get a Paragon level apothecary, and we'll be able to get level 3 revives.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed, right?
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else over there, Jay?
Well, also, news is, we have the April champions kind of, been announced with Pi Day, and then obviously pretty awesome. And then I think we got some little tiny deep dives, like in short style, for Sandman and Shocker. But what's your thoughts on these two characters coming?
I think Sandman looks amazing. Like the art team, the design team, they knock it out of the park every month, basically. I don't know how they do it. So I think that looks, we have to see how they're going to perform in game, and see if they're going to be useful and if everybody's going to use them. But they definitely look amazing. Shocker, the shockers on his arms, is that how they are in the, you might know, Jack, because I haven't read recent comics or anything. They look a little funky to me. Is there something off of them?
Maybe they just look, I'd probably say they look way bigger than they are.
Okay, that might be what it is.
Yeah. And they look clunkier. Yeah, they look a little bigger than normal, but for what they are, from taking comics and even the MCU, it's pretty good. I mean, I really enjoy the visuals of both of these champions.
Yeah, they look like the ones from the 90s cartoon. Is that what they're modeled off of?
From which cartoon?
The Spider-Man one from the 90s.
Oh, from
the 90s animated series.
Yeah, I remember reading a lot of comics with Shocker or Sandman in it, but I remember seeing Shocker in that. I don't know if Sandman was in that one, but I remember seeing Shocker in the 90s cartoon.
They both, yeah, I mean, in the comics, they don't look that off from so I think it's more towards the comics and updating that style. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that way, and especially because if you look at Sandman or Shocker in other games, it doesn't look too different from what we have in game right now. I know Strike Force has, and Super War has Sandman, so I would probably just say more overall design.
What do you think about them? You think they look good?
Yeah.
Cool change?
Oh yeah, they look cool. I'm really excited for one character. Just how he's gonna play attack wise. I'm very, very excited for. I'll say that.
Wait, one that you know about?
Yeah, one's gonna be more. It feels like more attack based, and that's the character I'm looking forward to once we get some details.
Okay.
I haven't really looked into their details at all, but I'm definitely looking forward to Shocker. Shocker looks like the more impressive one to me, even though Sandman is the #1 most wanted champion in the game right now. Sandman looks dope, and we talked about him on the podcast with Gabe. Everybody wants Sandman, but Shocker looks so damn clean. I'm not even gonna lie.
Shocker's the one I'm talking about, by the way. That I'm more excited on attack. I'm very excited.
Why does everyone want Sandman? Why was he such a wanted character?
He's just been a character that everybody's wanted in the game since the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you have the Spider-Man cartoon, which, having such a popular, and you have Spider-Man 3. I think he's just so popular among normal fans who don't read comics, or even fans that do read comics or watch the movies, TV shows, etc. I definitely see why he's been so popular over the years, and obviously Kabam mentioning him across a couple of years and showcasing him in Easter eggs when Kraven came to the game. I think it just hypes up that, and finally to come to the game is so nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Hell yeah.
I want to read chat real quick. Still wish, and I feel like we should have been Lizard instead of Shocker. Hey, don't
count Lizard out.
Yeah, exactly. Next Spider-Man event, and I think it's Lizard and Silk, and I'm gonna have a video on it pretty soon. What about Mystique? Still most popular. I think right now Adam Warlock is, which we think is gonna be hopefully in May with the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, Companion
And
Network.
then we've got Gladiator and Beta Ray Bill coming with an Annihilators event. I can feel it.
I hope so, dude. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jay, you want to ask your most famous question?
Which character would you add to the game?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I really can't think of one, man.
Oh.
Like, just add symbiotes. That's all I care.
Hey, I mean, you say that, and I do think there's one coming in October.
Okay, then I'll be happy with that. That Venom has always been my favorite character. Just the way that he looks, the way that and just everything about him. And so, if you just add more things that have anything to do with him, I'm okay with it. I'm really happy with, like, especially this past year or so. Like, all of the champions have been, like, most of them have had a lot of uses. So, just continue. That is really all I care about.
Hell yeah. All right. I wanted to ask you this, and kind of obviously we have Sarge actually in the room chat as well. Is kind of how did you guys' partnership going, and with Sarge's guides, like kind of tell me about the process about that.
Like how we do it, or how it got started, that kind of thing.
Yeah, both.
Oh yeah. So, fun fact. I think I told you earlier, Jay, that it's been a year since I started adding my videos over to Sarge's guide. I thought it was tomorrow, but I think it's April 6th. I look back on our Twitter conversation, and April 6th of last year is when I first reached out to him, and I told him, I was looking at his guide sometimes, and I was making these videos, and if he ever wanted to throw any of them on his website to help people out, then, he can go ahead and do it. And he messaged me back. He was excited about it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. All right, cool. And then we just hit the ground running from there. So every month he works on the guide. I work on the videos, post them all together. And yeah, it's led to me ending up going and helping run an alliance with him. So
it's awesome. We have Eric Palmer in the chat, and it's pretty cool. He's talking about how you've been leading alliances for a while, and days of Hammy's Heroes.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a blast from the past. He was with me when we left an alliance a long time ago, and I just started one and just called it Hammy's Heroes, and we ran it for about 8 months, and then we kind of broke it up and went somewhere else. But I've always ended up playing with him every place that I've ever gone to.
That's awesome.
He's a good guy. That's a good guy right there.
Love to see it. Love to see the partnerships.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that came over with me when I came to help run the chaos. So yeah, I think that's like probably the biggest thing that keeps me coming back to the game is the community. It's all of the people that I've met, the friendships that I've made, and the ones that I keep making and keep maintaining. That's probably the most important thing about the game to me, and sometimes the only reason I play it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So with that, are you excited for 7 stars coming up?
I'm mixed because I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was initially thought, because the initial pool, I don't know like how powerful the champions are going to be. I think we really need to see, have they released any information on that yet? Besides Go Fix It, right? We know that one for sure.
No, not besides that.
The only thing that's been released is Joe Fix It's in the pool of 30.
Of 30, yeah. And around that type of level of character on the
champion.
Scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to imagine everyone just is going to stop using their 6 stars overnight, So you're still going to be leaning on your 6-star roster for a long time to come until they release champions, that are, when Hurt comes out as a 7-star, just forget about it. Just close.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that doesn't ever happen.
Rank 5 6-star Hercules is enough.
I don't know. We got Ascension coming, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that work too in tandem with the 7 stars. So I think if that extends the 6-star roster out, further. I think it sounds like a pretty good idea on its base, but we'll have to see exactly what it looks like when it all gets sorted out.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Who would you like to see in the pool, either new or old?
Ultron, definitely.
yeah.
I Hulk. Um, and maybe, I don't know, maybe like they'll have champs like Hawkeye, champs that, you know, are a little bit better than they used to be, and I'll pull them as a 7-star and I'll actually go and use them and learn how they work and all of that stuff, you know, and I won't lean so heavily on that core group of champions. That's probably the most exciting part about 7-stars, is that without having to put a ton of rank up resources into them, I'll have a reasonably powerful champion to try out that maybe I never would have tried out because I only have them as a rank 1 6-star.
Yeah. Okay. So, out of the champions that haven't been buffed yet, who would you like to see buffed?
I mean, Groot, like justice for Groot, man. Like he needs to be buffed really, really bad. And I think just like OG Iron Man, Superior Iron Man, buff them or take one of them out of the game, as far as I'm concerned. You know, like buff OG Iron Man or buff Superior Iron Man, buff them both, or buff one, take one out of the game. I'm okay with either solution, but they need something.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah, especially with the Iron Mans, they changed OG Black Panther because he had the same, or did he didn't have the same as anybody else. He did.
Or specials? Okay. Are you that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, he didn't have the. Did he have the same ones? No, I'm confused with myself. I don't remember.
They changed his animations and everything. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they just changed his like first and his medium animations, I think. But yeah.
And they changed his special 1 and special 2. Didn't he used to have the regular old jump kick, 3-hit jump kick at the end?
Yeah.
Special
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they changed those, but I don't know. Do you guys use Black Panther at all? Because I never really used him at all.
I do, with Black Widow, Deadly Origins, and Hercules, and Nick Fury.
I'm going to try that then.
I don't, but I know he's a lot better than people. I feel like people sleep on him. Like he really, he had his buff. It's kind of a lot of those characters, like they get buffs or they come out as new champions, and it kind of takes a while, or they get slept under the rug. And I feel like he's one of those characters, especially you mentioned the synergies. Would be pretty sweet to see.
Yeah, I've got mine at rank 2 right now, I believe. And I believe the only time I really use him is whenever you need like bleed vulnerability or something like that. He'll stack up bleeds really quick and launch those specials, and you get some precision and it raises your critical rating and shit like that. So it's pretty cool.
And speaking of Black Panther, I mean, we still got that Civil War Black Panther buff on the horizon. Whenever you get information on that.
Yeah. That's been a long time coming now.
Oh yeah. They actually I saw on the forums that because we had quoted John who's on it and announced it, and someone brought it up a couple weeks back, and Kabam said it's still happening. So it's just nice to hear that it's still happening. It's not like Century who basically was said no longer getting a buff, or at least on the back burner for however long. So we'll see what happens.
So for those of you tuning in live, it's April Fool's Day. So the Marvel Champions tweeted out, and I think they did it on Instagram as well. It was a relic of Galactus's foot.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The synergies are the best though. The chair, the golden oldie, and who else was it? I can't remember.
Lockjaw,
that's right. Yeah.
That was good stuff, yeah.
Stomp out your opponent, literally.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
You got anything else over there, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the only April Fool's joke, because, Kabam always got to get 2. They got to give us a Deadpool one as well. And Deadpool gifted everyone an Infinity Crystal. And so, got to ask everyone is, how many have you opened? Did you just get the 100 to get the title, or are you still opening to like 30,000?
I'm at a grand total of 0. I have not opened any.
Oh my goodness.
I got work to do, I suppose. That's what I want to do with my evening, is just tap the screen over and over, opening a crystal.
Yeah.
I did the 100 and then I stopped.
Same.
I was like, I'm done. I got the title.
There's a hidden title if you open it amount of times. I know Kat's chasing it. She's at like 30,000 or something. But some people are getting it at 800 or 1200 or 1600. So, if you do still have the Infinity Crystal, you haven't traded it in, maybe keep opening it. You might get lucky.
Oh, you
Maybe.
can trade it in?
Yeah, you can trade it in the store and get a title.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you go to the featured item tab, it'll be Infinity Crystal trade-in, and you'll get the hold on, let me get the right title name. It's basically Deadpool insulting you because you traded it in.
Oh,
Respect, fine.
gotcha.
Ashamed and incompetent. There you go.
So, do you know what the title is if you open it so many times?
Yes. So pretty much the opposite of that. It is called it's called Proud and Accomplished.
Ah, okay. Nice. Very nice.
I don't think I'm getting proud and accomplished.
Maybe the
I
orangey.
probably won't either.
I might have gone for it if I knew about it.
Yeah, I still have the crystal, but I'm not going for it. Sounds like a lot of time.
Yeah, it sounds like too much work for very little payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got revives to grind for.
What do you use to grind revives? Because I always used I think it's 6.2.2 or 2.3, the one with the Corvus boss. But I keep hearing everybody else saying they use the Thanos quest.
Yeah, that's what I would mostly use was the Thanos quest. And then I've seen a video about what was it, 536 or something like that with the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've never used that one either.
Mhm.
I always just use the Corvus quest. It's just seemed easier because there's I think there's only like 4 paths, and there's almost always a revive every single time I go to that quest.
Nice, yeah. Which they haven't mentioned. Obviously, those are intended drop rates compared to the reworked Act 3, so I don't believe those will be going away, right? The Act 5.
It was 535, I'm sorry. 5.3.5.
But yeah, that'll still be available, right?
1 through 3, I think.
I don't think they did anything to Act 5 except I don't know if they did anything to Act 5, honestly.
I think
It seems the same. The only thing they did to Act 6 was they added the choice node for the boss.
Yeah, they changed the.
Oh, okay.
And then they lowered some of the paths, but not the bosses. Like, lowered some of the attack values, I think.
Yep.
But other than that, they didn't touch anything else. Yeah. But where have where you said you were grinding revives in Act 6?
No, I think it's
Act 5?
Yeah, I think people keep mentioning in videos, I think they're mentioning 3.2.6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 3.2.2. It's just the Corvus, whichever one has Corvus as a boss.
Gotcha.
That's the one I've always been using for revives. I don't think I ever used the Thanos quest. But yeah, that one has, like, I get a revive almost every single time I do that quest.
Really?
Yeah, and it's only like, I think it's only like 24, 28 energy, something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Not
much.
as much as 326.
No, yeah, that one's got more, and it has a lot more paths that you have to check from what I was seeing in videos.
Yeah, there's like 6 paths, one for each class.
Does that one tend to drop more, like 2 revives on the same drop?
Yeah, sometimes it does, and then sometimes it'll drop an energy refill, like a full energy refill too. So that's why people were using it, was because it was dropping full energy refills, and sometimes it was dropping 2 revives and the energy refill. So they were just endlessly grinding 326 for hundreds of revives.
Yeah, I think we can all probably agree that had to be fixed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. No, yeah. That's how in-game content was getting done.
Yeah.
In like 2 days. But yeah, they're just trying to slow the pace, it seems like Brian said, like Brian Grant said, it's not, instead of you getting it done in 2 days, it might take you 5 months or 5 weeks, whatever.
Ooh,
Depending on how much you spend.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to balance because you don't want it to take people so long that the rewards are outdated by the time they can actually complete the content, but you don't want to make it too easy either. So that's a juggling act for sure.
absolutely.
Yes.
I know that.
Okay.
Eric actually has a question. He says, if you had the ability to, if you could design one character, who would it be?
Mm.
Is he asking any of us or
Like a
I think Hammy.
like a current champion, like redesign him or a new champion?
Think a
'Cause-
new champion, but if you have a redesign, maybe mention it.
Oh man, I don't know.
Like, okay.
What's Toxin?
Yeah, Toxin. I was about to say that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, him. Yeah, I think he would be cool. I don't think that I would be a very good champion designer because I would say one hit and they're done. I want him to kill everything. But yeah, I think they do pretty cool things with the symbiotes already. So,
Would you add a new ability if you could?
Yeah. And this is kind of something that I always wanted. I don't know that you could do it with that symbiote, but one thing that I always thought would be cool is if the signature ability is what actually gave them the symbiote and it changed their animation to where now, like Nick Fury gets his second life. I always thought it would be cool if you run in with Eddie Brock. If you don't have the symbiote, you just fight as Eddie Brock. If you have the signature or he's unlocked, then he would have the symbiote when he runs into the fight, or it would come on him as he runs into the fight. I don't know what extra abilities you could add there. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff, bleeds, all of that good stuff, armors and all that would be cool. But I just thought that I always thought that would be a cool signature ability just to actually give it to, or maybe make that a relic and let anybody get it. Let anybody get symbiote as a relic.
Yeah,
I think so. I think relics could be really cool if they weren't just strikers. And I know they probably have plans to do more than just strikers with it, but that's kind of always what I envision relics to be, like new weapons or new tools
exactly.
for use, Yeah. So that would be a cool relic probably. Maybe I can design relics.
Yeah, man, we need it, especially like Stormbreaker's hammer. Like, come on.
Yes. Yeah. I told someone that in a chat. I said, if you put Stormbreaker as a relic and let me put that in Thor's hands while I'm fighting, I'll chase that all day. But the relics that we have now, like I don't have very much desire to chase them at this point.
You cannot bring Stormbreaker without Beta Ray Bill. Bring it, my boy.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it. Bring in Stormbreaker and Beta Ray Bill at the same time.
That would be extremely good.
That would be the best event. Everybody would go apeshit.
Bring him into the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's my favorite character. And I know Karate Mike was campaigning for Beta Ray Bill, and there were a couple other people. But yeah, bring in my boy already.
What is it that you like about Beta Ray Bill so much?
What?
What do you like?
What is it that you like about Beta Ray Bill so much?
He's just my favorite character, man. Ever since like I saw him, it was like he was different. He was the first person other than Thor to actually wield Mjolnir, and he kicked Thor's ass.
Yeah.
Hell of a debut, right?
Yeah. And nobody else had done that before in the comics, so it was like, wow, this guy must be worthy. And everybody alienated him, was like, he's a villain. But no, he's not a villain. He's just trying to protect his people.
Right.
Yeah, he's a dope dude.
Yeah, he's in Planet Hulk, the animated film. If you guys haven't seen it, I know obviously Exon has.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Yeah, check it out, Planet Hulk. That was one of the first introductions to him when I was a kid, and I loved him in that.
that's not on Disney Plus, is it?
I have no idea.
I haven't seen it on Disney Plus.
Maybe it's still on
I'll
Netflix.
search. Yeah,
But it's out there on the internet for sure.
yeah, for sure. Check it out. It's good. He was in Ragnarok, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, like they're continuing the story of, especially if they're doing World War Hulk with the rumors for the MCU of doing Hulk. Like they got to do Peter Ray Bill. I mean, that'd be beautiful to add onto that story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Do you have anything else over there, Jay?
I wanted to ask this earlier, but if you have one video on your channel that you would kind of recommend to new viewers, which one would it be?
I think it's just the whole playlist of I Hulk, because I think if you watch those videos, you'll fall in love with him like I did. He's just a ton of fun. That whole playlist is just him. I did one. I forget which Eternity of Pain it was, or maybe it was Summer of Pain, or one of them. I did it with I Hulk with no masteries on whatsoever, just to see if I could do it. And I ended up being able to solo one of the Summer of Pain or Eternity of Pain bosses, just because I was just having that much fun with him. I was just like thinking of new things to do with him, like what fights can he take, what can he do. So I think that whole playlist is worth a watch, I think.
Sweet.
Very nice. I have mine at rank 3. I'll have to sing him up.
Yeah, mine's, and the funny part is mine, when I made all of those videos, wasn't awakened and still isn't awakened.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's still not awakened, and I still use him all the time whenever I have a reason to or an excuse to.
Very nice.
Have you tested out a regular Hulk's buff since it's been live?
A little bit. I like to bring like new buffed champs like that sometimes into Alliance Quest, and so I brought him into Alliance Quest with me, and wasn't super impressed with it. Like it's a little fun when you can stun chain things, here and there, but I just used him for one day and then I moved on. I can see that he can do some crazy things, I'm sure, and especially if there are any nodes that are going to increase the length of your stuns, then you're going to be like Seaton grabbing a cup of tea while you got him stunned in the corner the whole time. So I could see him being fun, but I haven't used him too much. But mine's only at rank 1 right now. I haven't ranked him up, so
are you excited? Are you excited to get your hands on the new Spider-Man buff?
It doesn't look super exciting to me, but that's another one of those things where it's a wait and see thing, Like I'm definitely going to try it because I've had a 6-star Spider-Man for as long as I can remember. He's still at rank 1 too, but yeah, I'm definitely going to test him out, see how he does. I saw one thing in his kit where you can't reduce the length of the stuns that he does. So that's going to probably come in handy on like limber nodes and stuff like that in war and other places. So I'm sure that he's going to have some use.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then what? May we'll have Iceman. Are you excited for Iceman buff?
Not really, man. I wish I was. It just seems underwhelming. That one seems underwhelming to me. He's finally immune to or he's going to be immune to Nova Flames, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I guess that's interesting, that he's the first one to be immune to Nova Flames. So that's something, I suppose. His damage output is going to need to be there in order for all of those things to tie together, though, because if the damage output's not there, then it's going to be very difficult for you to want to bring him into everyday content or, content where there's high stakes like Alliance War. You're not going to want to do that if the damage output isn't there, because that's just going to prolong the fight, So you either have to have like a ton of utility or really good damage or somewhere in the middle. I'm hoping he'll fall somewhere in the middle and I'll end up getting some use out of him, but we'll see.
I feel like he'll be more useful in like war defense or like battlegrounds defense.
He could, yeah.
He'll just be more annoying in the fact that you can't really shake the cold snaps as fast or as well as some other champions, maybe.
And they increased the potency on him too, right? The cold snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be interesting. We'll see.
For sure. Do you have anything that you want to plug besides you've got your channel, right? What's
Yeah,
your YouTube channel?
We talked about the channel. Hammy plays MCOC, all that stuff, yada yada, blah blah. But I'm gonna flip the script a little bit and say I'm gonna plug everything that J-Ax does, man.
Aw.
Guy's impressive. I'm really glad that I got the chance to get to know you over this, last little bit of time and stuff. And all of the things that you do are just incredibly impressive to me. So I'm going to take my opportunity to plug J-Ax. So go check all his stuff out. Twitter, Facebook, wherever else he is. Check all his stuff out. That's what you should go do. Check his stuff out.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll be looking for champion predictions here in a couple months.
Oh yeah, man. I'm very, very, very excited.
Are you going to get them all right this time?
Well, we'll see. In fact, they talk. I mean, at least DLL's kind of mentioned they might not be doing a part 2 of the predictions for the. So I'm kind of sad on that. I think I did such a good job at predicting them. I think we kind of ruined the. They said that we kind of ruined the anticipation of characters. So
well, that's why I'm plugging your stuff, man. You're too smart to have all that information, and now they're scared of it. Maybe they'll just hire you.
Yeah, man, that would be dope.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm super excited. At least getting stuff, with Adam Warlock. Hopefully next month, I guess it is April now. Next month in May, I'm so excited. I hope a High Evolutionary comes. June's gonna be an X-Men event, which I know as X-Men fans, we're gonna love it. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
And then
Amy, I forgot to ask you, if there's a type of content you would bring back, what would it be?
I don't know that there's something specific I would bring back, but I liked that they tried something new with the side quests this month with incursions, but I would change the way side quests work completely. I don't have a mapped out plan of how that would be, but all I would say is, or if I could impress one thing upon Kabam, I would say keep trying those new things. The incursions felt a little grindy to me. They took a lot of time, but I like that they're trying new things. So just keep trying new things with the side quests. And then people won't have to constantly remember all of the good content from the past. They'll be talking about the great content that's coming out currently.
Yeah,
I could agree with that.
Definitely. Erica, he says, "Hey Hammy, I'm listening with my son. Can you give him a shout out? He will get a kick out of it. His name is Nico."
Hey, what's up, Nico?
How you doing, Nico?
But Nico,
I gave him a literal shout out.
All right.
Nico, it's a solid name. I like it. It's a solid name.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite Marvel characters. I know, obviously, not a boy, but Nico Minoru from the Runaways. Cool character.
Very nice. Yeah. So if that's it, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I want to thank J-Ax for streaming us live on YouTube, and yeah, Hammy, thank you for being our guest.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it, man. It was a ton of fun.
Love it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, chat.
All right.
And have a good night, everybody.
Good night.